What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another tune from the 1989 Technique album by New Order. Thank you as always to Erik, who has provided multiple physical media for the channel and for all of us. And the next tune is Love Less, which sounds like an odd directive, maybe prescription, which is further to say, normally, or all other things being equal in a lot of art, the idea of loving more or committing to love or expressing love is perhaps much more common. Love less, I do wonder whether this is someone giving a command or a request, or if it's about a reality, the idea of love being less desirable or less pervasive or less significant in the narrator's life. Obviously, I will try to catch what I can. Let me make sure we're on the right side here. Yes, I think we are. So this is New Order from the album Technique, 1989, and the track is Love Less.
It's not your right to be so much my enemy. I knew that I could never give. You knew that you could not forgive. No price or pride would fall before a 10-foot wall without a door. Don't you know? I watch you every step that you make to find some other fool you can take. And I don't know why I even try, because it all comes down to this. Can't you see? Why don't you look at me? It's not your right to be so much my enemy. Don't you look at me? It's not your right to be so much my enemy. I work hard to give you all the things that you need, and almost anything that you see. I spent a lifetime working on you, and you won't even talk to me.
Well, the title certainly makes sense given what I heard, though I don't think we actually heard the title phrase, which that's not terribly uncommon, but more often than not, songs feature at some point the title, I'd say most often in the chorus, though not always. In any case, yes, it sounds primarily like an unrequited love, and one that the narrator is expressing some frustration about, saying that, he's been working on this person for a long time, and yet despite all of his efforts, all of his willingness to give them, to provide whatever they may want, it's like the other person isn't even giving them the time of day, And in fact, beyond that, they're not even looking his way, and he's, using this visual, it's like you can't see me. It's like you're not even looking at me despite everything I've tried to show you and to bring to you and make available to you, and all the love that I would like to shower you with. And I think he uses a visual metaphor of a 10-foot wall without a door. Like there's just a barrier between him and the other person. There was a line, though, that maybe suggested there's more to it than just the other person's disinterest or even lack of awareness of the devotion of this person, which is to say, it was like, you can't forgive, and so maybe there's been some transgression or there was some mistake by the narrator that he feels like he's more than made up for, or he's willing to do anything to make up for, but which the other person can't get past or just considers to be a deal breaker, if you will. So yeah, there was a bit of ambiguity because of that line, but in general, I like the contrast of a light and sweet and happy sounding tune, and obviously the guitar gave us a lot of that vibe, and it was a notably less electronic sounding tune than some that we've gone through on Substance and this album so far, so that did stand out. But yes, there's a bit of a contrast with the lyrical articulation or the lyrical themes relative to the sonics, which again have a bit more of a joyous feel to them. So that often works, right? That contrast of having a happy sounding tune that once you start listening feels like it has a lot more pain in it thematically. That is a really nice dynamic, and I think that works here. It's a short tune. I'm going to say, I don't think it lists track times. Let's see if it does on the inner sleeve. It just has a picture, that's right. But yeah, I'm going to say that's somewhere between 2.5, 3 minutes, somewhere in there, maybe 3:15. So short, sweet, bitter, and to the point. And again, it's like sometimes in a tune where someone feels like they're not getting the love they deserve or they can't make the connection they want to make, it's still pleading, it's still feeling very sincere and loving toward the person being addressed. Here it does feel like there's a bit of bitterness. It feels like there's a bit of indignation, how can you not even look at me after all that I've done? So yeah, I enjoyed that, and I like the vocals because again, they're sweet sounding, and then you hear the lyrics and it's like, oh, it's a bit sharper than you would be inclined to think. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.